If you've tried everything to get your breakouts to stop with no success, then this video is so for you. Just because a product is labeled that it works for acne breakouts doesn't mean that it does. So we're gonna talk about what doesn't work, and we're gonna talk about what does work in this video. Well, hey everybody, I am Chris Gibson and this is Chris Gibson Live, and there is a reason why that I am known as the hardest working guy in skincare. And I can tell you, as an acne sufferer in my teens and in my early adulthood, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this problem. I wrote a book on the subject that sold over 1 million copies, so of course I know what to tell you to do about this problem. One of the things that used to drive me just nuts when I was struggling with my acne problem was the products being useless to me. I mean, I tried everything. I tried everything. I tried what my dermatologist told me to use, but I also tried everything over the counter. I would do anything to clear up my skin because acne was such a big problem for me. It was such a self-esteem crusher for me that I was willing to spend any amount of money on any product. I have a drawer that I laughingly talk about as the drawer of no return, or the drawer of skincare no return, where I just tossed everything that didn't work. I don't even think about how much money I wasted on that. But today I'm gonna tell you what doesn't work and why it doesn't work, and I'm gonna tell you what does work, what will work for you, so that you have a way to address the problem once and for all. And if you stay with me in the video, at the end I'm gonna give you access to a free guide that's going to help you do this. So the video is going to be very helpful, but I'm also going to give you the guide for this. So let's talk about products and why they don't work. What a lot of people don't realize is that the products that are on the market today for acne, when you look at the ingredients, it is exactly the same ingredients that were around in the 1980s, which the 80s into the 90s is when I suffered with my skin problems. Salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, which was known as Persogel back in the day and was a prescription, actually. All of those particular drying products, they don't really help in the long run. What happens is people use them and then they begin to dry out their skin. So they see a little bit of an improvement in their acne problem, but then all of a sudden they're getting bigger or worse or deeper breakouts. And that's because these products dry the skin out and leave a layer of dried skin, which traps more oil and dirt and bacteria, which leads to more breakouts. So that's what I talk about. It doesn't really matter if a product has an infomercial. It really doesn't matter if a product says acne on it or even has acne in the name. It doesn't matter. What matters is the ingredients. And I can tell you, one of the things I did was change my products, but I'm gonna get to that in a minute. So the reason they don't work well is because there haven't been any really new breakthroughs in the skincare arena when it comes to actually clearing up surface acne on the skin. We could talk about Accutane and the deeper acne vulgaris, which is what I had in those drugs, but even that didn't work for me. So what did work for me is a system that I'm gonna give you in the video, and we're gonna talk about that. So what doesn't work for you if you're watching this video are products. So you wouldn't be watching this if you had tried a product and it worked. So let's talk about the other reason they don't work is because they're based on myths about acne. And the myths are so prevalent. I've done Mythbuster after Mythbuster TV show for this problem, and it's still prevalent out there. I still hear about the same one. So let's go through these really quickly. Acne is not caused by dirt. It is not caused by oily skin. It is not caused by chocolate or soft drinks per se. Okay, it is not caused by those things. Acne is caused because there is a bacteria that every human being on the planet has on their skin. And it's a bacteria that feeds off the human oil that we produce. So in some individuals like myself and perhaps like you or someone in your family or someone you know, their body is ultra sensitive to this bacteria. And what happens is the bacteria gets down in the pore, begins to digest the human oil that we produce and creates an infection. That's bacterial growth is an infection in the pore. Thus we have the breakout or the pimple or the zit or whatever you want to call it, or more importantly, the acne vulgaris, which is deeper, which causes scarring, which is one of the things that my goal in all of this work, besides to get you healthy and clear up your skin, is to keep you from having acne scars. So That's the really big deal. So the myths stand in the way because we believe them on a conscious and a subconscious level, and we're marketed to by these giant pharmaceutical and advertising companies. We won't mention any names. Kind of they're a pro at it, but they market this stuff to us and we believe it. Now, there are some individuals that have blockages that create acne that are just very surface based. They're very based on the fact that their pores are blocked and that's all they have going on. They have no sensitivity or any other stuff going on I'm going to talk about. It's just they need a good exfoliation routine. And had they done that, they wouldn't have to spend month after month for products to do that for them. So that's the people that get some relief out. Those of us who go and spend all the money and invest in this stuff, or we go to the dermatologist and we take all these antibiotics, which I'm going to talk about that in a minute too, leads to more problems. We don't get the relief we seek or we pay for. What we get is some temporary cessation, and then we get worse breakouts that are deeper, and the deeper breakouts cause scarring. So we're going to put a stop to that. So again, the myths are, it's caused by dirt, it's caused by oily skin, it's not. It's hereditary, it's not. You may be ultra sensitive, but that's not what causes acne. It has everything to do with your sensitivity to the acne bacteria that's on your skin and what's going on in your pores. So here's where it gets fun, and I talk about what to do. We're gonna go on a food vacation. We're gonna take out dairy, altered dairy especially, sugar, okay? We take that out of the diet. Not chocolate, you can have sugar-free chocolate, but we're gonna take out the things that increase the oil production in the body, which then gives the bacteria something to feed on. So a food vacation is the very first thing that we wanna do. We wanna take out the altered dairy products, we wanna take out hydrogenated oils, we wanna take out sugar, all of those things. We wanna eat leafy greens, lean meats, much like the Mediterranean diet. We wanna clean up our diet. We wanna do that for a week and see what results we get. The other thing that you want to do is you gotta change out your skincare products. You gotta look at the products you're using and make sure they don't have salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, mineral oil, sulfates, sulfides, urea. Any of those things that I just listed are gonna be in the skincare label. You don't wanna put that on your skin. It's over drying and very irritating. You wanna use sorbitol or glycerin or organic oil-based products. You know, I have my Clear Revolution skincare line that's based on this. I don't care if you use mine or someone else's. What's important is that you use products that don't add to the problem. They don't create extra dry skin, they don't block more pores, and they don't put poison on your skin to make things worse. So product use is huge in this. The next thing that I did that helped clear up my acne was my skincare routine. It's very simple. It's Chris's skincare routine basics. It is exfoliate, cleanse, treat, and moisturize. And let me talk about cleansing, again with a cleanser that's not drying that we just went over. Exfoliation is very important, using a buff puff sponge or some sort of scrub 2 or 3 times a week to get that dead skin that's built up on the surface layer of your skin to be removed so that your pores can breathe and can drain properly and let oil build up and bacteria. Very, very super important. And I'm gonna put some links in the video description box for these things that I'm talking about, like face wash and exfoliation tools and all those. I'll put a link in there for you in the box. The other thing that's super important is moisturize. You gotta moisturize your skin, because once you clean it, your body's gonna try to produce more oil to replace the oil you just removed. So by moisturizing with a good moisturizer, like what I talked about, that is, you know, botanically based, borage oil, sage and citrus, some sort of light moisturizer is gonna keep the skin moisturized, hydrated, and it won't produce as much oil. And what oil it does produce will be produced on top of the moisturizer you're using, and therefore will be out of the pore and on the surface of the skin. So very important to moisturize. So what you want to do to treat the bumps you currently have is a tea tree oil or melaleuca oil, which is what it's known by, 100% solution. Find that, again, a link in the video description box if you don't know where to find those. And cortisone cream is also very, very helpful to reduce the swelling of a current pimple or a bump or a breakout. Just lightly used, that will actually make a big, big difference. For more on that, you can see that in the video on my top 4 treatments to stop acne in its tracks. And the most important thing I want to share with you today is it takes a lot of courage to address your skincare problems, and all these tips that I'm giving you right now are going to make a huge, huge difference for you. And for sticking with me through the entire video, I also want to give you access to a guide that people pay for on chrisgibsonlive.com for free for staying with me and learning about this stuff so you can do something about your skin and make yourself feel good, because that's what my channel is about. It's about looking good, feeling good and living good. Please grab the guide. By all means, it's yours, it's free. You just go to the link, click it, and there's a button. You don't even have to wait for it to show up in your email box. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Now, there are 2 more videos right here that I want you to watch that are coming up. And the one is on how to stop acne in its tracks. It's my biggest skincare hack of all. And the other one is 4 things you can do to stop a breakout right away, to actually have the breakout diminish, where you can go out for your date or go out and do whatever you have to do, participate without worrying about a pimple or a breakout getting worse. So really, really super popular video I would like for you to watch. So right here, and I will see you in the next videos.